guys, Angela here, and thanks again for tuning in to another inspirational video or another inspirational story. And if you haven't subscribed, please remember to do so for more stories like this. So let's get right into it. So I have yet another friend, and before this whole pandemic or crisis situation really got intense, she had gotten an end of contract also. Like, I've seen God turning people's lives around during this period, and I just thought to share with you to encourage somebody out there who is about to give up or who just thinks that it's over, like things cannot really turn around. So this lady had gotten an end of contract, and the saddest thing is that her last working day was a few short days into 12 days into her 1 year anniversary. And with that, it means that she was not qualified to get her end of service benefits that you qualify for if you have worked for at least 1 full year with a company here in Qatar, or maybe with other companies or out there, I don't know. Yes, but in Qatar, it's like that. You have to finish 1 full year with a company for you to qualify for end of service benefits, or for you to even qualify for an NOC or no objection letter if you do get an end of contract. So for her, she was not qualified for an NOC, which means she was not able to transfer to another company even if she did get a job, unless she exited the country, went back to Kenya, and then got a new visa with the new company. But you know, with the situation that was already going on around the world, it was impossible to go to Kenya and to come back. So she was stuck here without being able to get another job, or even if she did get another job, then she was not able to even take up that job. So she was also a person of faith, or she is a person of faith. So she just hung in there, you know. Every day she would just sit in the living room, because yeah, we used to live around the same place. So she would just spend the whole day in the living room watching movies, just hoping and waiting for maybe a flight or a chance to go back home, which was not really happening until finally just the airports were closed and she was stuck here. So she kept just wishing for anything, like for any opportunity to come up, even if it's a temporary position, so that she can sustain herself, because she still needed to eat and she still needed to be able to support her family back home. So I was really feeling for her, and I just told her, you know, just keep praying. It's not over until it's over. If there is anything that I can do to help you, then I will. But at this point, just keep trusting in God, and I don't know, a miracle might happen. So for her case was completely finished. She completed her last working day, and she was just waiting for now her final settlement, whatever the company owed her, at least what she had worked for that month, and if there were any pending leave days that she needed from the company, and then it would be over between her and the company. So it so happened that again the company was looking for people to go work in quarantine locations, something we call the red zone. And yeah, it was like the very, very first times when the number of COVID-19 cases were starting to rise very high in Qatar. Everyone was afraid. At home, if you had told your people that, hey, I'm going to work in such a location, your mother would even tell you, I will disown you. If you dare, you are no longer my child. Actually, I saw people who were told that. Like, some people were told by their husbands, if you dare go and work in that area, for whatever reason, you are no longer my wife, or some, you are no longer my child. But for her, she was willing to take the risk. Like, what else could she have done? But the saddest thing is that when this opportunity came, it only required cleaners. They were looking for 12 cleaners, but for her, she was a cleaning supervisor, so she did not really qualify, you know, for that opportunity. So we tried to find 12 cleaners. and we found 11. I think we found 12. And then the 12th one just backed off the last minute. She backed off the last minute. The day that they were supposed to go, this lady backed off. So we had 11 and we needed to fill up the number to 12. And it so happened that that day, the bus was supposed to leave to take these people to the new location because they needed to like relocate, you know, leave the accommodation, go and stay in the other location. So it happened that on that day they were supposed to go for training before they could join the other location, and they got there late, so they were not able to train and they were forced to come back to our accommodation. So I asked this lady, the supervisor, we do have one spot for a cleaner. I wish there was one for a supervisor, but there is one for a cleaner. And according to you, from our last conversation, you said you are willing to take up anything. Are you willing to take up the opportunity as a cleaner if you are allowed to do so? And I will ask. And if I'm given the okay, then I will include your name. So she said, yes, I am willing to take it up. So I consulted and I said, we have this one lady. Yes, she got an end of contract, and because she's not able to go back to her country, she's willing to take up anything and she's willing to work as a cleaner in this new project. Are you willing to, like, is that possible or no? And the people that were concerned said, yeah, if she's willing to do so, she's so much welcome. So she packed up. She had already packed up everything ready to go back to Kenya. So for her, it was very easy to just carry her luggage and put in the bus, and the following day the bus was able to go. It's like it came back for her. We could not find the 12th person. The 12th person, no one was willing. Everyone was like, no, even if I like money so much, I'm not willing to risk my life. And remember again, these people were getting the risk allowance of like 80% of their basic salary. So nobody was willing to risk it. So they left. And the funniest thing is that when she got there, everything was set up for her as a supervisor, because they thought, okay, these are 11 ladies who would need somebody to, be their head. So she was made their head, and she was reinstated back to her position as a cleaning supervisor, and now she was in charge of these 12, allocating the duties, preparing the duty roster, and just ensuring that everything is running smoothly in that new project. And I was just, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it in words. I was shocked. When she told me that, do you know, I was not even taken in as a cleaner, but as a supervisor, just the way I am. And I was like, oh my God, this is really the miracle that we had been praying for. And remember, before this even happened, she told me, Angela, I have seen you fasting a couple of times, and I think I'm going to give it a try. And I told her, totally go for it. It really works wonders. So she went into prayer and fasting for, I think, 3 days, and then that opportunity came along. So yes, miracles have happened to so many people, and I thank God that I've had a hand in some of them, just seeing people's lives getting transformed when actually they just felt like they had gotten to the end of the tunnel. So yes, miracles do happen, and this one was very shocking. And later on, she got a confirmation letter saying that your end of contract has been revoked and you've been taken back into the company. And you see now, the 12 days that were pending for her to complete 1 year with the company, it's no longer a question now. Even if she does leave the company, now she's qualified to get her end of service benefits, and if in any case she gets an end of contract again, then she's qualified to transfer to another company. And she just God turned her situation around when everyone just thought that for her it's over, at home. And I kept telling her, please stop telling your people back at home that you are coming. You are not going back. We are still trusting God that something will open up. I don't know how, I don't know what, but please stop putting those things into words. Stop putting your thoughts into words. Then she said, okay, I will stop. And when she stopped, and when she started confessing the positive, and then just positive things started to happen to her. So yeah, I hope you've been inspired with this really wonderful story. I still talk to her nowadays, and I'm like, wow, you really are a miracle. Like, who goes through that? Like, it's over for you, like it's really over, like, and then you get your position back, and then you now get a chance to earn even almost like I don't know, you get a chance to earn more, because for I think for higher positions the risk allowance was around 40%, but which is still big money, especially in this period when people are not even earning any money. So yeah, I have been inspired really by this, and just know that it's not over until it's over. Even if this situation looks totally dead, it's like there is no hope of things turning around. If you can just take it to God in prayer, then according to His will, things can turn around according to your faith. So keep on trusting, keep on believing. It is not over. There is still a chance for you out there, whether it is that you are expecting to get a better job, whether you're expecting to get into a better relationship, whether you are expecting to go back to school, whatever it is that you think it's too late for you, or whether you are expecting to get another child or the first child, and you think that maybe because of your age or because of reason A, B, C, D, or because of your health, it's over for you. It's not over. And I just look forward to hearing your story, that things have turned around for you as they did for this very good friend of mine. So thank you so much again for watching this video, and remember to subscribe for more stories like this. Bye.